where I had to ask, I don't know what's going on here, can you tell me? And then I think in some instances you did clarify it in the piece for the audience as well as for me, because I become an audience member when I first read them. It's a brand new field for me, it's a brand new book for me, it's a brand new movie. So,
Michael, we were talking earlier, and I didn't even realize what an influence it's had on the making of Batman movies eventually, right?
Yeah, it really did. For those of you who know the story, my partner and I first acquired the rights to Batman in 1979 from DC Comics, making it movies. And for 10 years we were told you can't make dark superheroes, you can't do serious comic book films. Nobody's ever made a movie based on an old TV series, go away. And it did take 10 years for that first movie to come out. In 1986, when this graphic novel came out, it helped us get over the hump to getting that very first Batman 1989 movie done. And part of the reason was it influenced an entire generation of people in Hollywood, and it opened their eyes and made them realize, oh, Batman comic book superheroes, they're not just for kids under 12. You mean we can put a lot of money into this and make a blockbuster film and a lot of people will come from all over the world? It was that kind of a sea change in perception. And I have to just add, really, to you folks and the team, on behalf of all of us here, this was like watching a live-action movie. This was absolutely spectacular, and I think you'll all agree with me that some of the best stories and some of the best character moments in the history of Batman have come from the brilliant minds of these folks on the animation side.
Now, Michael Emerson actually wanted to play the Joker in real life, but he did not want the batarang stuck out of his eye. Let's talk about that. I mean, that's a hauntingly great, grim, calm performance, isn't it?
Michael's performance of the Joker? I just adore Michael Emerson. You guys all know him from Lost, right? Remember Ben, the character from Lost? And I had admired his work so much. And I really don't know much of his work before Lost. I don't recall seeing him very much, but I kept looking for something to hire him for because I liked him so much. And then this came along and I thought, we've done the Joker a lot of different ways. How am I going to do this different vocally? Because I think a lot of us hear Mark Hamill's voice when we think of the Joker. We just do. It's part of our lives. We've lived with it since what, 1991, I think Mark was the Joker for us. And so, but I wanted something, we all wanted something different, something eerie and creepy, and there's something about him, that character in this particular piece where you kind of sympathize with him. He's got this wacky doctor, Dr. Wolper, who is played by Michael McKean, who's just stunning in it. And you watch him when he's getting ready backstage to go on the Dave Endocrine show, and you're like, God, I hope he kills Wolper. He is so obnoxious. And so when that moment happens, it's so shocking. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. But there's something about the Joker in this particular piece where, you know, you're glad of what happens to him, but there's just something, I don't know, there was something very sympathetic about him in this piece. I liked the Joker in this piece. I thought Michael did a terrific job. And it was his first voiceover job in animation, as far as I know. And he was here in New York recording, and I was in LA recording him, and we did an ISDN, which is just a satellite record, which means essentially, even though his voice is recorded here, it's beamed to a satellite and records in Los Angeles, so we have the finished recorded product there. But we also, for the first time, hooked up a Skype setup so we could see each other, so I could watch Michael work. And what was so interesting is he's really an accomplished actor. I asked him after the whole thing was done, after we had finished all the ADR and the piece was complete, I said, what did you think of the experience? And he said, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. It's the hardest work, and it never occurred to me that he would have that reaction to it, but it's a different field, you know. It's when they have no chance to use just facial reactions, because that, if it doesn't come through the voice, it doesn't come through. We can do so much with animation, but there's a lot of subtleties that's lost with the limited animation that we have. But he said it was the hardest work he ever did. But I think some of the best work he ever did.
You called me last Tuesday night and couldn't say enough. I was just so proud to be part of the whole thing. So there's a scene